I'm Caddy of Caddy's Customs. I work here with my wife, son, daughter, and son-in-law. After 25 years in business, one thing I learned is every day is a different project and every project has a story. Where one family turns automotive dreams into reality. This is Caddy's Customs.
So here at Caddy's Customs, most people think all we do is bodywork and paint. We do a lot more than that here. We actually do on full restoration. We can do your mechanic work, your motor work, suspension work. So many of the things we do here as well, we actually do sunroof, and little Caddy's actually installing one now. We can go actually check out the process of how you actually install a sunroof.
All right, so I'm actually installing a sunroof on a 1986 Cutlass. Well, actually the sunroof was already installed previous, but it had some flaws and just wasn't working out. So it actually buckled the roof. It was probably like, if you can see that, it was flexed a little bit. So we took that one out, installed a new aftermarket one that's universal, and reinforced it, braced it, so it'll have firm, it won't be all loose and flappy and fluky. The first thing we're gonna do on this car is actually grab our template and make sure it's the same size as the sunroof we're installing, because there was a previous sunroof already installed. After we do our template and mock everything up and measure everything and actually get the trim of the sunroof installed, we'll disassemble everything, and then we'll actually seal the frame of the sunroof, and then reinstall the frame rails and the mechanism of the actual sunroof, and then wire everything up. All right, so what we're getting ready to do now is actually put up the frame of the sunroof, the actual mechanism itself with the motor and everything. Mark, you're just gonna run that wire down the side. Get your side in first. No, let me hold it up. Get my side in? Yeah. All right. Okay. Grab one of the bolts. They're right here on the seat. I got the roof. Any day now, Mark. And grab two if you can. Or grab me a couple. Alright, so we're bolting it up now. After we bolt it up, we'll go back and reinforce it again. You got some more on your side. You always want to tighten these up. You just want to snug them. Nothing too crazy. It's nice and all right, so now we actually have the frame in there, the glass, everything sealed up. Right now, what we're gonna do is run some more beams and reinforce it on the sides and in the back of the actual sunroof itself. We're reinforcing it so it won't have that play in the back. You see that? And once we put these braces in there, it'll stop all that movement and everything. Straight, still. Nice and sturdy. So, well, what I'm actually getting ready to do, put an angle in it so it'll have a nice, it'll go with the contour of the car, and it'll mount up just like a factory one would, and you won't be able to tell the difference, and it'll keep it nice and sturdy. Let me grab out here and grab some screws real quick. And what we're gonna do is we'll mount it on the inside of the car, and then we'll cut off all the access that we don't need excess. This is very, very, very important, because this is what causes a lot of people's roofs to flex in the back. They might look straight to you up top, but when you see them, they'll dent in, like somebody's been laying in it or something. because there's so much weight in the back and it's pulling down. So we just put the first one in. We're gonna push it up as high as we can. So we got one right there. Let's get another one in there. You want to go into the structure of the car. Yeah, that tightened up. We'll take that one out and reinsert it. Get a nice firm grab on it. Put another one up here also. So we'll do this side next. After we seal up the actual sunroof and get the mechanism installed, we'll actually run all our drain hoses and run them down to the bottom of the car, so we won't have no leaking issues. They got drain holes right here, so we'll hook up the hose and put the clamps on it and make sure they're real nice and tight, so they won't come loose when they're doing the headliner. And then we'll run them down to the body of the car and to the outside of the car. And I mean, you want to make sure that's nice and sealed, so you won't get no leakage and mess up a brand new suede headliner or a brand new interior that you just got done. Right, and I mean, and this is the one that I'm showing y'all right now, but there's actually 4 drain hoses. There's 2 in the front, 1 on each corner, and 2 in the rear, 1 on each corner. So whether the water goes forward or backwards, it's still gonna catch either way. After that, we'll check it and make sure it's not leaking and give it to one of our upholstery guys to finish up on the headliner. Okay, so we actually got the headliner installed on the Cutlass. We did a purple suede headliner, and now it's off to paint. And we actually got it painted. So we did a 2-tone with a Galaxy Gray and Orion Silver, and we shot a Voodoo Violet candy on top of it. And it gives you that effect of the 2-tone and also gives you the illusion of the candy. We did a 26-inch gold Ruchis on it with a gold tiara grill and gold handles to accent it. And you can just see the finish on it. So we got the sunroof installed properly. As you can see, it's working fine. It opens up fine. It'll close up perfect. And then it also has a vent option, so you can vent it if you don't want it closed all the way. And as you can see, it's a lot more sturdy than the previous sunroof, and I mean, it actually just gets the job done every time.
When it rains, it gets a little messy. You can't wax because the water gets on it, gets smeared. The guys try to clean, you know, you're in and out, you're getting water inside the interior if they're putting it together. It just makes it harder. You know, you go outside to get something, you got to revert, hey, I need to move the car to put this in here. It gets wet, you're working on something, you dry it off. I mean, it just makes it frustrating. It does, I mean, I'm not saying that we can't work without the rain, you know, that we can't work with the rain, but it sure does make it a lot better when it's not raining. From a minute to now, look at it. That's real. Oh, we ain't no tornado watch, is there?
Hey, don't tell me that. I'm gonna go home right now.
You scared of thunder and
Yeah.
lightning?
Yeah, you know I have a shelter at home.
Yeah, what?
The shelter.
Oh, you just want to use it. You just
No,
want
we
to use
used it before.
Hey, but that's the month to go home and use the shelter.
We used it before.
Get her address, babe. We'll be like,
Color.
Vanessa. Let us see, girl.
No, it just says flood at.
How many people fit in there?
I think 8.
So how many of y'all in your family?
4. Well, plus the dogs, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, I got 4 dogs, no, 3 dogs, and 3 of us, so we're coming in.
I already covered that.
Yeah. Was that top still on that Cutlass? I put the cover on it. All right. I mean, you can do is move this one up. Move the fan, and we'll push it up. We ain't turning it on. Move that fan, Colin. My little man getting down. You doing good? How you looking over here, Raymond? Patch.
Filler on it. Yeah.
Hey, did you have to patch the other side too?
I still have to do them, yeah. So I'm just doing what I can. Monday I'll probably
Flip it. I see you. Oh yeah. Era, más o menos, ¿qué te falta mucho o tú dime? Unas horas, el lunes. Ya le acabaste este pedo, ¿no?
Ya, no vamos a echarle puro glaze, taparle todos los agujeritos. Tapamos todo con glaze. Nomás aquí presentando cada una bola.
Caddy, why do you wait for the last minute to crunch it? It's a Cutlass, 69 Cutlass convertible. And I said the reason why we wait for the last minute, it's been painted and needed stripes. So we're still doing work to it. They did a motor on it, they did a transmission. So we wait till that got done. It got painted, so it got done. We put a new top on there. And we were waiting for the last minute to put all the chrome. We did the stripes the night before. And in the morning, we took the paper off and we started cutting it and buffing it so it can be fresh. It can look like it just got painted yesterday. We pull it out and do all that to it. Then they start putting all the chrome back on it. I mean, it's fresh. I mean, and let me tell you, if you're gonna mess it up, putting the chrome up last week or today or yesterday, it doesn't make a difference. You're still it's gonna screw up the whole process. So you have to be real careful of putting it together without, so I like to put 3 or 4 guys. So that one guy can take care of the fender, that moldy, the top moldy. The next guy can take care of the back bumper and he's concentrating only on that. If you put one person on that car, he's thinking, oh, I'm not gonna finish this today, I'm not gonna finish it. He gets in a rush and there you go, you scratch it. So I've learned that it takes away from the other jobs, but one day that we do that on that car, it's not gonna hurt the shop. So, and we actually get that car delivered. So every car will get its day. It might take 2 days sometimes, but at least it'll be concentration only on that car or whatever car we're working on, you know?
So today what we're working on is a 69 Cutlass. We're trying to get it delivered. Customer really wants to go to Good Guys Car Show. It's been a little project we've been having for a little bit. He's been more than patient with us, you know, but we're trying to get it wrapped up. He brought his audio equipment that he's been wanting to put in the car, and he's trying to make us put it in, and we told him we can definitely take care of that for him. We're gonna go ahead and get that installed. Colin's gonna take care of that for him. We got a little odds and ends to finish up. It's already been buffed. We're gonna put the final trim on it and get it out the door, get it detailed.
What I'm doing right now is gonna determine where I'm gonna mount the fuse holder. It's important that the fuse holder is mounted so that it's within 18 inches of the battery for protection of the car. In case the wire gets pinched somewhere inside the car, it'll blow the fuse and only allow a minimum distance of wire in here. If you fuse it on the other side of the firewall, then the short could potentially be between the battery and the fuse, and that would cause a fire. So you always make sure you mount this at least 18 inches or closer to the battery and find a suitable spot for it. I really like to put it like right here. And my little backstory, mine was out of desperation. I had did my first radio install in 1986, and it was really kind of funny, man. I just moved from Dallas to Waco, and my folks bought me a fairly new car. It was a few years old, but it was a Camaro, and it had a factory radio in it. It didn't even have an 8-track player. It just had a regular AM/FM radio in it. Bought that Alpine CD player. Every dime I had left in my pocket, and bought that CD player, and they were like, you know, for $20, we'll install that CD player. And I was like, man, I ain't got $20. Went home and proceeded to burn up stuff, man. Burn up wires, blow fuses, everything, man, everything you can imagine. I didn't know that, you know, Chevrolet had specific color codes and everything. You know, long story short, it took the entire weekend to get that radio in. You know, when I was done, you know, it looked okay. It was a little crooked. I had to cut a hole, you know, using a jigsaw blade and a pair of vice grips. But I had it, and I had it done. And from that point on, man, I was hooked.
So we got the 69 Cutlass. We did a full paint job on it. We put factory wheels and tires back on it. Color matched them. Did the white letters on them. Got the all brand new bumper. He replaced a bunch of brand new trim on it. We pulled his motor out. We cleaned it all up. Put new serpentine set up, freshened it up, put a fresh coat of paint underneath the hood. Put electric fans on it so you can have a nice, reliable daily driver if you wanted to. The car just speaks for itself. It's a timeless car. He just wants it to be real nice and classy. You can see we put the stripes back on it as well. We did the 442 stripes on the car. Customer just wanted a real nice, classy car. You know, the car speaks for itself. It's a 69 Cutlass. Very nice car. So let's take a look at the inside of this Oldsmobile we did. The upholstery is all original. The customer decided he didn't want to do anything to the upholstery. The upholstery is really not in bad condition. He said he is going to address it at a later date, but you can see the details this old upholstery has. You know, a lot of new cars don't have that diamond stitch perforated like the way it is. He is going to upgrade it eventually, but they don't make it like they used to. You know, the major thing you want to change the carpet. The carpet is usually the first thing to fade. You know, and that's, you know, we work with anybody's budget. You know, following with Colin's audio install that he did for the customer. Again, a real basic setup. He put a nice Kenwood single DIN radio in it, you know, where the gauges are at. Made it look real factory looking like. Where the factory radio was actually at was up here, and Mark made a real nice bezel to hide all of that where it was at before, because we did put the aftermarket radio down here lower where it's better accessible and easier to cut it out to put it in there. So also on this car, even though we didn't do the upholstery on it, the customer did want a brand new convertible top. We actually replaced the frame on it as well. You know, it is an aftermarket frame, but it's almost just like the factory one. It's real squeaky clean. It's nice black paint. It's not rusted, anything like that. Brand new vinyl top on it. Convertible top works like a dream. We also replaced the sun visors to match the top. I love this look right here. Real classic, factory 14-inch rally wheels. You know, the Oldsmobile brand new caps. You can see the chrome, all brand new chrome, pops the matching color blue on the actual car. Man, this looks great on any old school muscle car. It stands out. You know, you can go aftermarket wheels. That's no problem. That everybody got different tastes. Me personally, this looks great right here. So we're all on the car. Everybody's trying to focus getting it done. Charlie did have a problem on one of the trims. There's a bolt we have to put on to hold the trim to retain it, and there was nobody can get their fingers in there. So we kind of just left it alone for a little bit. We walked away. We knew we had to attend to that. And I saw my wife walking by, and I was like, hey, go ahead and take your wedding ring off real quick.
That was better than way.
Open.
Yeah, I can't grab it with the.
Yeah, Bianca was able to actually get her hand in there and put the nut on there, and we were able to tighten it up. But she just had smaller hands. She did have to take her wedding ring off and her watch, but I knew she was able to do it. She was all proud of herself, and I was proud of her too.
Well, what first initially brought me to Caddy was word of mouth. I had heard a lot of things about Caddy, but when I was on Craigslist, I saw a guy out of Tyler who had a car done by him. So he was selling his car, and so I called him up and asked him who did it, who painted his car. way in East Texas, way in Tyler, Texas. He said, I brought my car to Caddy Custom. He said, by far, take it to Caddy. He's gonna do you right. If anything's wrong, he's gonna fix it. You know, so he's the guy to take the car to. So that was my ultimate reason for taking it. I had the confirmation, and that's why I took it. I can't ask for nothing better. You know, you get what you pay for, and I wanted to take it to one of the best, or the best, and I think I got what I asked for, and I got what I paid for.
My name's Steve, and I came into Caddy this morning to get my Prowler fixed. Backed into a tree. He jumped out at me.
We got a 1997 Dodge Prowler. I mean, these cars are rare, man. I think they made them up to 2,000, but whoever has these, and I got a few customers, they keep them up like new. So this one just happened to get a little crack in the fender, man. He backed up into a tree. We've done pieces up here in the front. We eliminated the front bumper. I painted the back bumpers. We've done work to it. We did a new piece on the inside. I did a steering wheel. Check it out. You know, he fabricated a steering wheel so we could paint it. So we've kept up. This guy found us, man, and he's been coming. He comes once a month, does something to it, or gets something fixed. It's bad that he had to come and fix something he messed up instead of doing something else to his car. But we've done the back bumpers. We painted them. I think it hurt me more than him, man, when I see it. I mean, but we're gonna get her in there. I'm gonna give it to one of the body man so we can get her going.
My guy's wrapping up the bodywork on the Prowler that we got in the other day. He actually reinforced it. It's an actual fiberglass fender. Fiberglass, what it is like it's a sheet of fiberglass, and then you add a resin to it that'll harden it. Usually, I mean, it's time sensitive, so you want to usually about 10 to 15 minutes, and you let it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes, let it harden up. After it hardens up, you'll come back and sand it with either 36 or 80 grit, and then add a body filler on top of that to make it nice and slick. After you do the body filler, you'll come back with either a glaze or even a even finer sandpaper and just smooth it out even more. And then it'll be off the primer. Once we get it in the primer, what we'll actually do is, it's like I said, it's on the paint side, so it'll go back to me. And I'll just check it, make sure it's nice and smooth, check the body work, make sure it's nice and slick. And then I'll actually primer it, and we'll finish it out with a nice slick sandpaper, 320 or 400, and then just come over and primer it. The reason we blended the trunk and the rocker panel is because if you just section it off and do the quarter panel, you'll be able to tell the difference. So what we like to do is go into the trunk and go into the rocker and blend it out so it won't look like it's been touched or it's been painted. It'll look like it came factory like that. You won't be able to tell the difference on the finish or the color. And then you just finish off with a nice clear coat, call it a day. Now that we're on the finishing steps of the Prowler, we actually got him wet sanding and buffing it. The body work's done, the paint work's done, so he's on to the last step, which is buffing it to get that slick look and get that showroom look. So he's gonna get it wrapped up, we'll get it over to the wash bay and get it cleaned up.
So I gave a text message that receipt to you.
Okay.
Here's your card back.
All right. Yep. Cute.
Paid in full. Let me give you the receipt. There you go.
All right.
And the key should be in it, right?
Yep. Fine.
Yep.
Hey, you're back in action.
Yes, sir. Looks good. I think you did an awesome job on it. It looks great. I can't even tell where it was hit.
Enjoy, man.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one, okay?
Thanks.